Start the countdown to kickoff of the college football season.
Off to the races, Baker. J.T. Floyd will not catch him. 61 yards and a touchdown.
25 teams in 25 days.
This is going to be a 46-yard field goal attempt to try to send it to a second overtime. Conroy, it's a fake. Bates is going to throw. He's going to run. Touchdown! Michigan State wins it in overtime. The call of the year.
It's Unsportsmanlike Conduct's 25 teams in 25 days.
And the number 15 team on our list through our composite poll, Michigan State Spartans, coming off of their third 9+ win season. 8 starters returned from the number 1 defense in the Big Ten. And we talked to Hondo Carpenter joining us from Spartan Nation about Michigan State. Hondo, how you doing, man?
Great, guys. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Hey, kind of start off with this defense and losing the defensive tackles. I mean, Jarrell Worthy is one, but I know at least 2 other guys from that position have gone. What are they going to do to show up that middle?
Actually, our defensive line is going to be considerably better than last year. Jarrell obviously went on to the NFL, but they had guys that redshirted that are actually performing at a better level than him. I think Anthony Rashad White moves over from nose to the straight-up tackle. Then, they bring in Tyler Hoover, who was our number 1 defensive end last year. He's bulked up. He's moved inside. Think about this, guys. The defensive tackle at 6'8", 320 pounds inside, trying to throw over him. Then, again, they're going to go 6 to 8 defensive tackles that are going to play and get considerable reps. It's going to be like hockey, and then they're going to literally change lines. It's actually going to be better.
Hondo Carpenter joining us from Spartan Nation, talking more about Michigan State, our number 15 team in our composite poll. Andrew Maxwell comes in. He's got a little bit of experience, but what makes him different from Kirk Cousins?
He's actually going to be better. I actually had a coach last year say if Kirk was to get injured and be out for more than 2 games, they didn't know if he'd get his job back. Unlike Kirk, you guys know this because you were able to tee up on him. Mm-hmm. Kirk was not a runner. And Andrew Maxwell comes in. The kid high jumped almost 7 feet in high school. He's extremely athletic. He's actually a better passer, and he with touch, and he actually is a guy that will run. So you're going to actually see some running brought into the offensive scheme. He's going to pose another threat. With Kirk Cousins, he would sit back there. He would stay. He was tough. He would stay in the pocket to the last second and throw the ball. Andrew can do all that, but he can also take off and run, which is not a good thing. And it's been something this defense has had to adjust to in camp, and it's something they're really looking forward to adding to their repertoire on offense.
Hondo, where won't they be better this year?
They're not going to be better at tight end. They've got the best tight end recruiting class in the country. They brought 3 guys in. One is a transfer, Jamari Mills, which is a guy they wanted desperately, and then he had to go to junior college route 2 years ago. But then they bring in Josiah Price from Indiana and Evan Jones out of Ohio. Those are 3 great guys, but they're unproven. That tight end is going to be the biggest concern. And as you guys know, Michigan State loves to do the 2 and 3 tight end sets. Mm-hmm. So that's going to be the biggest question mark coming in on offense. On defense, there really isn't. In fact, I know this is kind of hard to believe, but that defense is even better than last year. They've been dominant, and I think they're going to continue to be. I've said this often. I said on your show before that Nebraska has the best fans in college football, period. Anywhere, any place, nobody beats them. And you guys love and appreciate the game when it's played right. This is a Tom Osborne black shirt jerseys. This is exactly what you guys love, and it's going to be fun to watch.
Hondo Carpenter joining us from Spartan Nation. Wide receiver, though, you lose the all-time leading receiver in the history of the program with Cunningham, and you lose other guys along with the tight ends you mentioned. Talk about some of the guys that are coming in to take their places. And then I remember Tony Lippett at one point was a cornerback. He's now a wide receiver full-time?
Yeah, let me tell you about Tony. That's a great question, by the way. They are going to miss B.J. Cunningham terribly, but here's an interesting fact that even Mark D'Antonio has stated. This wide receiver core has less experience but more talent. Tony Lippett's a guy, ran in the 4.3s, was a quarterback in high school. Last year there was just so many wide receivers, they let him get over and play corner just so they could find a way to get him on the field and get him some reps. The original plan was to always get him back to wide receiver where he is. He's a lightning burner. He's very, very tall, but he's also thin, but man, he's lightning quick. Then we bring in a guy that had several SEC offers from down in Georgia, but he picked Michigan State, and Andre Sims Jr. He was a kid that was the number 1 pick in the spring draft. which shocked a lot of people. Then they bring in Tennessee's number one receiver from last year, transferred because of a family hardship. D'Anthony Arnett is here, so he, started a year as a true freshman in the SEC. He's here. Benny Fowler is a guy that many thought was going to unseat Keyshawn Martin, who's having a great training camp with the Houston Texans.
Yep.
But he sustained an injury, so he's sat out last year. If he just comes back to where he was, that's an upgrade over Keyshawn. So there's a lot of inexperience, but a lot more talent.
The game of the year, obviously, is Michigan, and especially up there. How are Spartan fans and the Spartan program handling with Michigan's, the love Michigan is getting across the country and in the media, and I'm sure in the state of Michigan, because that program has gone a long way in the last 18 months.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to put this in a way that I really believe you people will get. Remember when you guys had a great program, but the Big 12 always treated you like you were a little sister when you weren't to Texas? I mean, Nebraska's the best college football program in the nation, period. Nobody's better in any league or anywhere else. And I used to laugh when they would treat you guys with such disrespect, and it was just a joke. And around here, they're used to it. It's how the world goes. I mean, Michigan State can not want a guy. Michigan gets him, and all of a sudden he's a five-star. And Mark D'Antonio's addressed it several times, and I love what he says. He says, the only thing I care about is we beat him 4 years in a row, and we're going to beat him 5. And that's the only thing that matters. We're used to it. It doesn't matter. It's just like it didn't matter if you guys beat Texas. They were always going to get more love. That's why you guys we're so fortunate to have you in the Big Ten. It's the same thing with Michigan. It's just going to have to be another beatdown. Nobody talks about the fact where's their lines on either side of the ball. No one talks about that Denard Robinson is a great quarterback and a super kid. I wish he was a Spartan, but he can't throw. I mean, I'm telling you guys, it would be prettier to watch her have a romantic weekend with Roseanne Barr than to watch that guy try to throw for a win. It just is a struggle. So they're used to it. They love it. Everybody can't wait. It's a countdown to the game. And, so like Mark D'Antonio said, you can have all the stars. You can have all the publicity. We'll go ahead and take the wins, and that's what it's about.
Hondo Carpenter joining us from Spartan Nation. We have a guy that comes on our show all the time, former I-back for Nebraska, that always says it's a lot easier to spell the man than it is to be the man. Le'Veon Bell this year gets a chance to be the man. How do you think he'll handle the extra pressure?
You want to know something? I'll tell you guys this. The first time I ever interviewed him, he thanked me. And I interviewed him the other day, and he thanked me again. He is one of the most humble kids in the whole world. I think he's going to do absolutely fine with it. He has a chip. This is another guy that Michigan State got, and everyone says, well, look, he's just a 2-star running back. Look at who we got at Michigan. Well, this kid comes in now. He's a genuine consensus candidate for the Heisman Trophy. I think he's the second best running back in the Big Ten. I think Burkhead's clearly number 1. But it hasn't
Monty Ball?
bothered him in the least. Oh, yeah, I think they're both better than Monty Ball, without a doubt. And I do. I think Monty Ball's a great runner, don't get me wrong, and I think he does a lot of things well. Mm-hmm. But I also think, what's he going to do with that rebuild offensive line this year? One of the things that Burkhead and Le'Veon Bell can both do, and I think you guys will agree with this, those are guys that can go get you yards. Monty Ball does a great job running the ball, and I have no disrespect for him. He's a terrific football player. But Monty Ball's not a guy that's going to go grind and pound and pick up extra yards. And I don't think he's going to have as good a year as he did, quite frankly, because I don't think he's going to have the offensive line. So, yeah, Le'Veon's a guy. He's humble. He's excited about it. And, again, I think he's going to have a tremendous year. But he's one of those guys you root for, just very humble, very laid back. I mean, his mom always reminds him he was only a 2-star. And, she goes, and he'll tell you right now, he says, if someone asks him, Heisman Trophy or national title, he goes, man, I want the national title. That's what's important. And he's just one of those kids you love to root for.
We were talking about coming in at 3 seasons of 9 wins or more. It's the first time in history of the university and just all the things that Mark D'Antonio's done already. Is he already the best coach in the history of Michigan State? Best football coach?
I don't think you can say. I don't know. I don't think you can say that when you look at Duffy Daugherty, who won all those national titles. I mean, Duffy Daugherty's the guy that broke the color barrier. His impact on football, college football, was so huge. I mean, you guys may remember Bear Bryant couldn't take, certain players like a Bubba Smith. Mm-hmm. And so, and he was like, listen, I don't care what color you are, come here and play. So, no, is he the best football player? Absolutely not. I mean, football coach? No. But I think in modern times, it's not even close, absolutely. But I think when you look at what Duffy did, not only winning national titles, but breaking the color barrier, that's got to be worth something.
Hondo, we appreciate it. Can't wait for football season to get started.
Can't wait, guys. Thanks so much for having me.
A lot of Hondo Carpenter from Spartan Nation.
Homer.
Wow.
Homer.
Everybody's going to be better. Listen, man,
They're going to be even better. Every position.
I'm not a huge Joel Worthy
Every
guy.
position.
I think he took a lot of plays off, but to say you're going to lose your top 3 defensive tackles, you're going to take a guy who was out for an entire season.
They're going to play 8 of them.
Quit being such a hater, Michael.
And move him from defensive end inside and expect him
They're
to
going to play 8 tackles.
Expect him again to be as
they
dominant.
They have 8 All-Americans at tackle.
That's fine. I've never heard.
Andrew Maxwell can run, but Denard Robinson can't pass.
We knew right away.
Le'Veon Bell is better than Monty Ball.
When he said we're going to be better and our team's going to be better, you knew what you were getting into.
Homer.
Was that a journalist or was that some guy that just like
Spartan Nation, dude? I mean, I've never had an interview like that. That's the first time. We've had guys before that said we've had guys before that talked up a program, but he went position by position. They were going to be better. Kirk Cousins, who is one of the best quarterbacks in the history of the program, well, he was good.
If he would have went down last year, he wouldn't have got his job back.
He would have lost his job to Andrew Maxwell. And Le'Veon Bell, of course, will be fine. I think he'll be fine too, but wow.
Hey, let me tell you about that kid.
Yeah.
He says thank you after every interview.
He does say thank you. He's a very polite kid.
Humble, class.
Yeah. I think Monty Ball.
He went through the drive-thru the other day.
Yeah.
He said thank you for the food.
Yes.
Class kid.
There are people that will say that Monty Ball is a product of the Wisconsin system. I always say that every player is a product of the system they play in. But I remember 2 years ago we were talking about how was Wisconsin going to replace those guys, Carmini and Moffitt and those guys.
They figured it out.
And they figured it out last year, right? So here we go again, another chance to replace guys.
Yeah, when Joe Thomas left, nobody thought they were going to be any good in the offensive line. Look what happened.
And they replace him, and they bring another guy in. So, I mean, they've shown that they can be very good on offensive line no matter who they lose, but I don't think that's going to – wow.
All I know is we're going to kick Michigan's butt.
Yeah, well, that's good. I mean, wow.
We've done it 4 years in a row. We're going to do it again.
Homer.
You're saying. Yeah, That was we got on USC 1620 on our Twitter page. Is it me or is this Hondo guy on Sparty's jock? And then Pat says, man.
I think he might be a member of the coaching staff.
Pat said, man, I thought Nebraska had some delusional fans and writers. This guy's a sunshine pumper of the first degree. And Adam says, is Hondo in the midst of a love fest for NU? He sounded like he was talking like he wants the job covering Nebraska. Yeah, that was really interesting.
He's a very positive guy.
He
You
is.
just got to give him credit for that. Very positive.
You said what?
That's amazing. Okay, all righty. Coming up.
I don't think I've ever laughed during an interview.
You did. You laughed several times. There's Monty Ball, who's nowhere as good as any of the rest of the running backs in the league.
Michigan
obviously.
State's 4th best running back is better than Monty Ball.
Larry Capers, I believe, who's the backup. He's better than Monty Ball. Everybody's better than Monty Ball. Everybody's better. And by the way, they lost not only their top 2 wide receivers, they lost their top 3, along with the other guy who was a top pass catcher as the tight end. Right? So 4 or 5 of their top pass catchers are gone, but they'll be better.
Yeah, they'll be better. He totally did not get the sarcasm when I asked him where won't they be better next year.
No, he did not, because he was serious. Nebraska being shown on ESPN. Is that ESPNU or just regular ESPN right now? What are they talking about? It's not a Tyler Moore thing, is it? What are they talking about? I have it on that TV. What are they talking about? I want to know. They're being serious, too,
This is
isn't
some good radio right here.
This is solid. We're talking about him on ESPN, Football Live.
Anthony Farah, the transfer.
Yeah, they switched to
Anthony
Penn State.
Farah transferred to Nebraska?
They switched to Penn State.
Brett Maher's not going to be the kicker?
No, he'll be fine. He'll be fine.
Ooh, he's out with a groin.
Okay, that's it.
Ouch.
Chad says, in terms of Hondo, this guy is making me laugh. Well, at least he entertained somebody. We'll take a break. We come back. We'll find out why Dirk's legs are sore on Unsportsmanlike Conduct.